Hello everyone, myself Ashish Desai, Assistant Professor, Mechanical Department. Today we are going to discuss here unit number 4, Fluid Dynamics. So first of all, we look at the learning objective for this session. So first learning objective is to know about the fluid dynamics. Second learning objective is to know about the Bernoulli's theorem. So after the session, some learning outcome is there. So first learning outcome is the student will be able to explain about fluid dynamics. Second learning outcome is the student will be able to explain about Bernoulli's theorem. So first of all, we look at the fluid dynamics. So in previous lecture, we discussed regarding the velocity and acceleration without causing a forces. So that is called as fluid kinematics. But in that case, here in dynamics, we are considering the relations between the velocity and acceleration of the fluid with the forces or energy causing them. That means the study of fluid with forces and fluid is in motion. So that is called as fluid dynamics. And the dynamic behavior of the fluid flow is analyzed by Newton's second law of motion. So which relates with acceleration and forces. That means force is equal to mass and acceleration. So force is depending on mass and acceleration. So first of all, we look at the different forces resolved on a fluid. So for the purpose, we will discuss regarding the equation of motion. So as per discussion, the Newton's laws of motion, the net force, that is Fx, is acting on the fluid element which is in the direction of x, that means Fx is equal to mass of the fluid element multiplied by Ax in the direction of x, that means acceleration in Ax direction, that is the x directions. So that's why we can write mathematically, that is Fx is equal to m into Ax. So here Fx is a net force acting on the fluid element which is in the x direction, which is equal to mass, this is a mass of fluid, and multiply with acceleration in a x direction. So that is called as Newton's second law of motion. So as you know that the fluid element having different forces which is present over there. So in Fx, so Fx is consisting with different forces. So first force is Fg, that is gravity force. So always remember that whenever the forces is dissolving in a fluid, that Fg, that is gravity force, is always considered over here. That's why Fg is there. Then Fp, then pressure force. The pressure force is also considered in a fluid flow. Then third is a Fv, that is force due to viscosity, because the real fluids having some viscosities. So according to that, we have to discuss Fv, that is force due to viscosity. So this is also force dissolved in a fluid flow. Then next we know that the Ft, that is force due to turbulence. That is resolved in a fluid flow. The next, that is Fc, that is force due to compressibility. So this also force resolved in a equation of motion. So this is the net force. So I consider the equation here Fx. So this Fx is dissolving in a number of forces, that is Fgx, Fpx, Fvx, Ftx, and Fcx. So that means Fg means gravity force, Fp means pressure force, Fe means viscosity force, and here Ft is turbulent force. And as we know that Fc is nothing but compressibility force. So this is all in direction x, that's why we write it as a xx at the level. So now as you know that the force due to compressibility, so force compressibility is negligible, because if you consider the liquid case, so it should be negligible. So that's why we rejected this Fcx. So only remain for the equation of motion is Fx is equal to Fg plus Fpx plus Fvx plus Ftx. Only you remote Fcx because it is negligible. Now this equation, so this equation, that means that net force here which is resolving these four forces, that is Fg, Fp, Fv and Ft. So these forces is resolved, that time you can call it as a Reynolds equation of motion. So again I repeat, for Fx, Fx means net force acting in a x direction. So this force is resolving in a Fg, that is gravity force, Fp means pressure force, Fv means viscosity force, and Ft is a turbulence force. So these forces is involved in a net force. So that force is called as Reynolds equation of motion. Now next term, that is negligence of Ft, that is turbulence force. So if you remove this that Reynolds in the equation of this uh, turbulence, so what will happen? Only three terms is remaining, and if it is three terms is remaining, that is called as Navier-Stokes equation. So Navier-Stokes equation is depending on only Fg, Fp and Fv, that is in the gravity force, pressure force and viscous force. So that forces is resolved in x directions. So that equation totally you can call it as a Navier-Stokes equation. And if you remove this this Fv and Fv, so you can consider this Fv and Ft. So that what will happen? If you take 0, then only remains Fp plus Fg, or you can say Fg plus Fp, that called as a equation, that is called as Euler's equation. So again I repeat, for this, for Euler's equation, if you remove that viscous force and this turbulence force, only term, that is Fx, is related with Fg plus Fp, that is called as Euler's equation of motion. Now we go for Euler's equation of motion. So actually we know that this Euler's equation is depending on only two forces, that is Fp and Fg. Fg means gravity force and Fp means pressure force. So here I that memorizing this term, whenever the Euler's equation is there, so resolved into gravity as well as pressure forces. So now this deriving the relations of motion on a fluid element. So we consider the cylindrical element, which is having some that directionally flow, that is in the streamline format. So here dA, that small dA, that is called as cross-sectional area. Length S, that is ds is the length. So this is the area, that is dA, and length is S. Here the forces is acting on the cylindrical elements. So forces is acting in a cylindrical manner, and here there are two forces is resolved, because whenever the one force is there, it resolves, so automatically it resolve a opposite force. So that that rule is called as a Newton's third law of motion, because there is an action, there is every reaction is there. So that is the Newton's third law of motion. So if you consider PDA, so PDA means pressure force. So again I repeat this this term. First of all, look at this, the cylindrical element, which is having that area, that is small area, that is considered the dA, that is small dA, and length ds, so that cylindrical length is ds. So this force is acting on the element, therefore the theta is the angle made by the direction of flow, right, and which is in the weight of the element. So here it resolves weight, so here I read weight component. So here the pressure force, opposite of pressure force, and their third force is weight of this element, fluid element. So first of all we know that the pressure forces in direction of flow, so this is the PDA, so right here PDA, and for this purpose P plus dou P by dou S and ds into dA. Why we can take it is because whenever this ds, suppose here ds is some values, that's why ds is become more, and if it is take a 0, what will happen? Only PDA is remain, because dou P by dou S into ds, so ds is 0 means PDA upon PDO. So that's why this cylindrical element is reduced into only a circle. This circular element, this circular element is only remain because ds, small ds becomes 0, that means only PDA. So that is why I consider here the pressure force P plus, so P is opposite of direction into dA, PDA is opposite of this, because every action there is equal and opposite direction, that's why we consider the PDA on that direction, though that's why PDA is also there, but only change in the length, that's why I consider here PDA plus dou P by dou S. So here partial derivative you can take it as a dou P by dou S into ds. Suppose ds is 0, that means only PDA. So that is the arrangement made here for Euler's equation of motion. Now one more component is there, that is here we consider as a weight element, because it is acted in a downward direction, that's why only pressure forces and weight is acted, that's why it is called as Euler's equation. Now this equation we derive for weight of the element. So here I written rho GDS. How it is comes? We know that the specific weight, so here I write the specific weight is equal to what? Weight upon volume. So weight is equals to specific weight into volume, because we transfer this volume on that side, and if we require weight, so weight is equal to specific weight means rho into g, as we know that in the properties of fluid we already discussed this point. specific weight is having two formulas. First formula is specific weight is equal to weight upon volume, and second formula is specific weight for that, rho into g. So I write here rho into g, and volume means area into this length. So area for this cylindrical tube is dA, and this length is a ds. So that is why it is called as a rho g dA ds. So this is the three equations resolved over here. Now this forces is nothing but Fx is equal to mx. So this forces we are added here. Okay, so this is forces we added here. Before that, we know that the density is equal to mass upon volume. So mass is nothing but density into volume. Density into volume means volume transfer over here. Density is rho, and volume is dA into ds. So dA is the circular part and ds is the length. Now if you take this pressure forces is in equilibrium conditions, what will happen? PdA, suppose this force PdA you can take as a positive sign. So if you take positive sign, so here this force, that is minus into bracket P plus dou P by dou S into ds into dA, so that force is in opposite direction, because this PdA is in positive, you can take negative direction on that place. So if you take this P plus dou P by dou S ds dA, so if it is dA is 0 means PdA upon PdA, because this element equal to 0, right? So if you take ds here, so that pressure will be smallest change in this length. That's why I can take dou P by dou S into ds, and it is wholly applicable for area. That's why I can take dA, that is pressure force area. Okay, so that is dA. So here I write P plus dA, that is positive, and this force is in negative. That's why minus P plus dou P by dou S into ds into dA, that is the negative case. Minus this weight component, because weight is always, remember, in a downward direction. So that's why we can take it as a rho dAds. So that's why I write here this rho dAds. Okay, mass is in terms of rho dAds. So PdA as it is, P plus dou P by dou S ds dA. So this two forces is as it is. Then rho g dAds. So rho g dAds is there, but so here we can take as a cos of theta, because this the cylindrical element is not in a that perpendicular manner, or you can say not in a horizontal manner. Only it can sustain at angle theta. That's why we can take a cos of theta, because this force is in downward direction as it. So that is why if you take this force, so that becomes rho g dAds, that is your mass into cos of theta. So that's why cos of theta you can take easily. And then P dA ds, so it is rho dAds is there into as. So this mass, and this mass same, that is rho dAds, and ax. So in terms of direction for acceleration, only change it as. So this is the equation for Euler's. Now I can take as it is. So PdA, again I repeat, this PdA minus this force, that is P plus dou P by dou S into ds into dA. These two forces will act in opposite direction. So if you take ds 0, that means only on a circular manner PdA and PdA is there, correct? So here we consider as a partial derivative with respect to ds. So if you take ds 0, that means PdA, right? So minus rho g dAds cos theta. So it is as taken from last side, that is next that is rho dAds into as. Now we solve this equation first. So here as is the acceleration in the direction of s. Then as is equal to what? dv by dt, because acceleration is nothing but velocity upon time. So that's why I can write as a as is equal to dv by dt. So value v is a function of s and t. Now we take it as a that forces. So here we can take dv by dt, that is dou v by dou t. So here again I repeat these two terms. So this dv by dt can take as a two parts. So first dou v by dou t and second dou v by dou t. So only we can adjust a ds, and as we know that dou v by dou t or ds, that equation for ds by dt. Ds by dt means what? V, and dou v by dou s as it is, plus dou v by dou t, that is as it is. So this is the as, and if you put this as over here, so after simplification what will happen? So here dou v by 2t is 0 because this flow is we consider as already steady. So that's why dou v by dou t is 0. Only remain dou v dv into dou s. So if you put this as in terms of this value, so I will get this some equation. So after that, put the as equation. So here I'll repeat this as value, that is v dou v by dou s, v dou v by dou s. So as it is, you can take it as a there, and then if you solve it, what will happen? So after simplification, what will happen? That dividing by ds by dA and into rho, so that's why we'll get the value of minus dou p by dou s rho ds, because we are dividing the rho ds. So ds cancel, only rho is there. So 1 upon rho dou p by dou s minus g of cos of theta, g of cos of theta, because we are dividing by rho ds dA. So this cancelled out, and all the term, that is rho ds in terms of DADS will cancel, rho will also cancel. Only remain that V dou V by s, because already it is given that V dou V by dou s. Now after simplification of this term, what will happen? We can take the simplification wise minus, we can go on that side, so that's why equation becomes like this. Now as we know that the cos of theta is nothing but, so cos of theta means that adjacent side to the hypotenuse. So here adjacent side is ds and hypotenuse, sorry, so here we can take hypotenuse, that is called as a dz, and if you take the adjacent side is called as a ds. So what will happen? Ds by dz, ds by dz, I can say that dz by ds. Okay, so that is from figure B, and if you put this value dz by ds, what will happen? G dz by ds. So all the term will be cancelled out, so that's why we can get the ds cancelled out, 1 by rho dou p plus g dz plus v dv. So this equation is called as Euler's equation of motion. So this is called as equation of motion. Only we are changed here this term, only we can take as it is term, that is minus dou p dou s ds dA. So this is come from this equation, because we are write it as a pda minus pda is cancelled out, minus dou p by dou s ds dA. So as it is, write as it is, rho g as it is, dA ds as it is cos of theta. Now rho dA ds as it is, as means acceleration due to gravity in a s direction, so we can take as a dou v by dou s. Okay, so now this equation we can use for formulating the equation, because already we dividing by rho ds dA. So what will happen? Only that terms, that is minus dou p by dou ds minus g cos of theta v dou v dou s. So here after simplification we'll get the equation. So after putting this value of cos of theta, that is dz by ds, so this equation becomes like this, that is 1 by rho dou p by dou s g of dz by ds, because cos of theta we can take dz by ds, and v dou v by dou s equal to 0. So after that we can take as a equation, that term is called as Euler's equation of motion. So this is about the Euler's equation. Now we move for the Bernoulli's equation for Euler's equation. So as we know that the Bernoulli's equation is stated that, so it is stated from the Euler's equation. So as per the discussion, we write it as a Euler's equation, that is dp by rho plus g dz plus v dou equal to 0. So after take integration on the both on the sides, so rho integration of this dou p, integration of g dz, and integration of v dv. So after this that concept, rho is the constant term, so only we write as a p by rho, that is the rho is at outside side, and then dp, so that integration of dp means p, g as common of this dz integration. So dz integration we can take z plus v dv, that is v square by 2 is equal to constant. So this is regarding the that whole term, that is called as Bernoulli's equation. So as we know that Euler's equation, we can take integration of this and then formulate the Bernoulli's equation. So this is called as Bernoulli's equation, p by rho g plus z plus v square by 2g. So this equation is called as Bernoulli's equation. Now as we know that the Bernoulli's equation consisting with p by rho g, that is pressure energy per unit weight, pressure energy per unit weight, because specific weight, that is rho into g. Okay, now v square by 2g, that is called as kinetic energy per unit weight. and Z is equal to potential energy per unit weight. So that is called as a potential head, kinetic head, and pressure head. So this is called as Bernoulli's equation. Now this statement of Bernoulli's equation we will discuss here. Here it states that the steady means there is no flow. We can explain that is ideal flow of an incompressible fluid. In the total energy at the point of the fluid is constant. So total energy remains constant. That is the law from Bernoulli's equation. So as we know that the mathematically the Bernoulli's theorem we can write as a P by rho g, that is pressure energy per unit weight, or you can say pressure energy. Then V square by 2g, that is velocity head, or can say velocity, or can say kinetic energy per unit time. So this is the V square by 2g plus Z, that is potential head, that is called as Z. So as per of this, we can take addition of this. So here I take P by rho g, V square by 2g and Z. And while deriving the Bernoulli's equation, first you derive the Euler's equation of motion, and then we go for the Bernoulli's equation. So this is the way for formulating the statement of Bernoulli's theorem. So always remember that the total energy remains constant. This is called as a Bernoulli's theorem, or can say Bernoulli's equation. So Bernoulli's equation is remaining depending on three factors. So pressure energy, then velocity head, or can say velocity, kinetic energy, velocity head, and Z is equal to potential head. So this is called as the Bernoulli's equation statement. Now as we know that the assumption of Bernoulli's theorem. So while deriving the Bernoulli's theorem, we are taking some exemptions. So first assumption is the fluid is ideal. That means viscosity is 0. So already we discussed in Bernoulli's theorem. The flow is steady. Then the flow is incompressible. So it is not suitable for compressible flow. Then next, the flow is irrotational. Then gravity force and pressure force are considered. So this is the Bernoulli's theorem applications. Now we discuss here the limitations on the use of Bernoulli's equation, steady flow and unsteady flow. So this is limitation: no heat transfer into and out of fluid, constant internal energy. So Bernoulli's theorem application is Venturi meter, orifice meter, and that pitot tube. So that is the application of Bernoulli's theorem. These are the assumptions made by this Bernoulli's and limitations on Bernoulli's. So limitations here: constant internal energy, no heat transfer into and out of the liquid, steady flow and incompressible flow. Now we discuss regarding this numericals over here. So in that first session we discussed regarding the Euler's equation of motion. After that we can take integration of this, and then we will get the Bernoulli's final equation. So after that we can take that values of pressure energy, that is P by rho g, V square by 2g and Z. And after that we can take assumptions for the Bernoulli's theorem, limitations. Now we move for the formula regarding this Euler's equation and Bernoulli's theorem. So Bernoulli's theorem, that is nothing but P by rho g plus V square by 2g plus Z. P by rho g means the pressure energy per unit weight. Pressure energy per unit weight. Rho g means W. So pressure energy per unit weight of the fluid, or pressure head. Then V square by 2g, that is called as velocity head, or you can say kinetic energy per unit weight. Z is nothing but potential energy per unit weight, or potential head. So this is the scenario regarding the all this formulae. Now we enter for the first problem, that is water is flowing through a pipe that is 5 centimeter diameter under pressure of 29.43 Newton per centimeter square and with a mean velocity 2 meter per second. Find here the total head or total energy per unit weight of the water at the cross section, which is 5 meter above the datum line. So first of all, look at the diameter of pipe here. So first diameter is 5 centimeter, and the diameter becomes 0.5 meter because we convert into centimeter to meter. Then it is given, that is directly it is given, that is V is 2 meter per second. So whenever meter per second is there, we can take as a velocity. Then next pressure is given to you, that is P is equal to 29.43 Newton per centimeter square. So as we consider of this, we can consider their pressure. Then datum head, that is datum head is 5 meter. So first of all, we look at the total energy, or you can say total head, that is pressure head, kinetic head, datum head. So first of all, look at the pressure head, that is P by rho g. So already discussed the 29.43, it is Newton per centimeter square. So this is the pressure head divided by rho g. Kinetic head, that is v square by 2g. Datum head, z is equal to 5. So here directly z is equal to 5 meter. Now, so this P by rho g. So P is always, remember that it is 29.43 Newton per centimeter square. So we can convert 10 raised to 4. So that becomes Newton per meter square. Rho is 1000 because it is of kg per meter cube. G is 9.81. After solution, we will get the 330 meter. That is our pressure head. So again, I repeat here. So these are the three formulas for finding out the total head. So first is pressure head, that is P by rho g. Kinetic head, that is V square by 2g. Third is datum head, that is head, that is height, that is potential head, that is called as that is having 5 meter. Now we go for pressure head. So P is given, that is 29.43 Newton per centimeter square. So convert this meter square, that is 10 raised to 4. Then rho g, that is 1000 g 9.1. So after calculation of this, 30 meter is pressure head. Now we discuss about the kinetic head, that is v square by 2g. 2 into 2 square, that is 2 into g 9.1. After this, kinetic head is that 0.204 meter. Now this head, that is pressure head, then kinetic head and datum head, we can take add this, that is called as total head. That total head means nothing but Bernoulli's theorem, because total head is remains constant at every cross sections. So that's why you can write this formula. And then P pressure head is 30, V square is 2.2404, and Z is about 5 meters. That is given in that problem. So this is the total energy per unit time, or you can say total head. Okay. Now this is the total head. Now we move for next problem. So here I mentioned here the pipe is through which water is flowing. So water is flowing is having diameter 20 centimeter. So 20 centimeter is the diameter, and 10 centimeter diameter at the cross section 1 and 2 respectively. So 1 is 20 and 2 is a 10. And the velocity of water section 1, so section 1 velocity is 40 meter per second. So actually it is given there. And find the velocity head at the cross section 1 and 2. So here velocity head is there, that's why v1 square by 2g or v2 square by 2g is asking the questions. And a rate of discharge, that is q. So first of all we look at this given data, that is t1 is 20 centimeter, 0.2 meter. Then velocity is given for 0.1, that is 4 meter per second. Diameter t2 is 10 centimeter, so convert this 0.1 meter. The next velocity section head at section 1, that is the v square by 2g. Then velocity at section 2, this is also question mark. And the rate of discharge, or can say rate of discharge, so this is also question mark. So first of all we know that the diameter, from that we can calculate the area, that is pi r 4 d1 square. Second, from that we can calculate the area, that is pi r 4 diameter. So diameter is 0.2 bracket square. So that is called as area A1. Now for area A2, that is pi r 4 d2 square. Pi r 4 d2, that is 0.1 bracket square. And that equation, that is A2 is equal to 0.00785 meter square. So this is A1, A2. Now we know that the v1 square by 2g is there. So first of all we know that v1 square, that is 4 meter per second. That's why 4 square, that is 4 into 4, 2 into 9.1, because v1 is already given to you. So that's why I can calculate the velocity head at 1. And now apply the Bernoulli's content equation for section 1 and 2. So a1 v1 is equal to a2 v2. So from v2 is equal to a1 v1 upon a2. So we can put the here v1 value, a1 value. So v1 is 0.815 and a2 is 0.00785. Then a1, that is 0.0314, that is the area. So first of all we calculate this after putting the value a1, a2 and v1, a1, a2, and this is the v1. So if you can take, so v1 is already given to, that is 4 meter per second. And after that we can take a v2, that is 16 meter per second. Now we calculate first, already calculate this velocity head at section 1. Now we go for velocity at section 2, because v2 is already known to you. So first of all we can find out the velocity head section 2, v2 square by 2g. So we calculate this v2, that is 16 square divided by 2 into 9.81. So this is 2.91, and then equation that 830.47, that is the velocity head at section 2. Now rate of discharge, that nothing but Q is equal to A1 V1, or you can say A2 V2. So here I can write Q is equal to A1 V1. A1 we can take directly V1. So already we know that V1 is 4 meter per second. So after calculation we will get the 0.1256 meter cube per second. So this is the regarding the problems related with the Bernoulli's theorem. So in next lecture we will discuss regarding the application, that is practical application of Bernoulli's theorem. So first application for Bernoulli's theorem is that venturimeter, second that is the orifice meter, and third is a pitot tube. So this is about the first part for the fluid dynamics.